Today, we're talking about the Toyota Tacoma Attic made by Blue Ridge Overland Gear and how I installed it into my second gen Toyota Tacoma. Stay tuned. So welcome back. I hope you're doing well. I hope you've been able to experience some adventure recently. I know we've been real busy this summer getting some family camping trips in, and some of those trips have led to some pain points. And so some of those pain points I'm going to cover a little bit more, and they're leading to kind of some new directions that I'm taking the build in. But recently I've just kind of realized I did not have enough storage optimization. I needed a couple more places to store things that are easily accessible, that we're kind of using frequently, and that led me to wanting to put in an attic inside the cab that I could just place a couple soft goods, some things that I'm going to be using pretty frequently. And that's how I stumbled across the Blue Ridge Overland Gear attic. Now, if you're searching for this video and you've looked it up, you probably know that this attic is specifically made for a third gen Toyota Tacoma, but I did make it fit on my second gen Toyota Tacoma. I've got a 2012 TX Baja edition Tacoma. If you guys want to see more about that truck, I've got a couple other videos on that. But I was able to make it fit. It was not a complicated process, so I'm definitely gonna let you guys know how that worked for the second gen Toyota Tacoma, as well as just kind of give you my feedback on the product. So let's get started with that right now. So right off the bat, if we're looking at the attic, you can see it's pretty small. It is only designed to hold a couple soft good things. What I've got in there right now is not necessarily what I plan on keeping there full time. It was just to kind of put in there, try it out. Right here I've got a sleeping bag liner, as well as a little blanket that I just kind of keep in here for my wife to use from time to time. Now the plan is a little bit different. My plan for this is to place things like rain jackets, some soft shells, some layers, stuff that we're going to kind of want to have access to just here and there. So stuff that maybe we don't want to worry about packing, but we always want to have in the truck. Now, I spend a lot of time in the outdoors, and so, you know, forgetting my jacket or forgetting a waterproof layer sometimes is something that I do from time to time. And so it will be nice to have those things in the truck all the time. Now, as far as installation is concerned, let's get into that. And I think what I'm going to do is actually take this guy down so I can show you guys what goes into getting this thing installed in your truck, if you're wondering. So real quick, before we put this thing back up and I show you guys how this fits into the truck, let's just take a look at the product. Now, I've heard good things about Blue Ridge Overland Gear in the past, and ordering this thing, I'll tell you right now, it was $80. So for what it is, obviously you can see it's a pretty small item, not a ton of material. I kind of think that's kind of expensive, but the build quality of this thing seems really great. And so it obviously seems sturdy, it seems like it's gonna last, seems like I can maybe stuff it a little bit and it will be okay. You've got a couple things, and so some of this we'll see a little bit more once we put it on, but obviously you got like this little elastic bungee cord to kind of tighten things up, which is good. It's kind of what I like to do, is put some soft good items in there, and then, you know, obviously tighten things up so they're not falling. And then I kind of tuck these straps because I've got, as you probably saw, 2 car seats back there. I got some little youngsters and they like pulling on the strings. So this is the entire item. Now let's go ahead and show you guys how to put this in your truck. So as far as modifications to your vehicle, prepare to be bored, because this is the easiest modification I've ever done to my truck, and it only takes a couple seconds. Now, if you order this item from Blue Ridge Overland Gear, it does come with a little instruction manual, which is made for the third gen Toyota Tacoma. Now, I'm not really going to talk about the difference. The installation is pretty much identical, besides the little clothing hangers that we're about to talk about. But it's practically identical for both trucks. It's just a little bit easier on the second gen. So I'm sure Blue Ridge Overland Gear has a reason why they've made this for the third gen, but for me it seems like it works just as fine for the second gen, and there's not much of a difference. And so let's take a look at step one, which is removing these clothing hangers. And so in the third gens, like I said, I'm not really going to go into detail on that. There's like a metal pin that you have to remove. For the second gen, at least for the 2012 to 2015, and I'm assuming earlier, all you got to do is rotate these 90 degrees and pull them out, and that's it. So as you can see, step one is just fitting that clothing hanger back on top of this guy and putting it in place. And so I'm going to set you guys down for a second while I do that. And then obviously all I'm doing is reattaching that clothing hanger the exact opposite direction of what I just did. So I'm putting it in at 90 degrees and then putting it back upright. So that's one side, and then I'm going to go over and do the other side. All right. Now we got both of those in there. So the next phase is just going to be taking this strap right here. See how it's got that little hook on the end? We're going to put this through that handlebar, the O-snap handlebar right there. And then we're just going to attach it. There's a little opening right here. So we're going to slide that hook onto there. I apologize for the poor filming, but it's kind of hard to do that with one hand. And so as you can see, that is now hooked on there, and this side is in place. Now I'll go do the other side. Okay, so now you can see we've got both clothing hangers attached, both attached to the handlebars. We can let out some slack on both sides, and then we can fit some things up there. So we'll throw this guy up here, kind of rest like yay. Go on the other side and put the other one up. Put that guy in there. All right, and then one thing I like to do is just make sure that both of these, the excess of the strap is kind of level on each side. And then we can do a couple things. We can kind of pull this bungee cord in and tighten it up there. And then just pull on this strap a little bit, and then we'll go to the other side. And we'll tighten up this strap. All right. So it definitely can still be a little bit tighter, but this is just to kind of show you guys. And like I said, this is not the actual items that I'm going to be placing in here full time, but it gives you a good idea of the kind of stuff that you can put in here. And so obviously, like I said, waterproof layers, soft items. You don't want to be putting anything hard up there, because obviously that stuff can fall on your kids or on you. You don't want things rolling up to the front seat while you're driving. But these soft items that, just in case you slam on your brakes, and the chance that they do fall out is not going to put anybody in any kind of harm's way or danger. But once you get these things all tightened down and strapped up, to be honest with you, I highly doubt they are going to fall out of place. And so that's that. Now, you may be looking at this thing and being like, you know what, it's so small, do I really want to do it? And to be honest with you, if you're looking for something to pack a ton of stuff in, this probably isn't the right product for you. I was just looking for some quick access, easy to reach stuff in the cab that I'm going to probably use frequently, I'm going to want to have, and that it's just going to be in there full time. Now, if you're new to the channel, you haven't seen this yet, but I actually have a much larger one inside the camper shell of my truck. And this one holds a lot more stuff. Now the purpose for that is to kind of keep pillows, sleeping bags, stuff like that away from some of the dirtier camping equipment that I have when I'm going on an off-road trail and dust is kicking up and stuff like that. And so if you want to see more on that, I do have another video that you can check out. I'll link it somewhere, maybe at the top or in the video description, and you guys can check out that works out great as well. Okay, so that does it for the Blue Ridge Overland Gear Tacoma Attic. Now, like I said earlier in this video, I'm going to be talking about the next phases of the build and some of the pain points that I've come across over this summer, as far as just having access to camping and some of the frustrations that I've had with my build so far. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you're subscribed and come back next week as we talk about the pain points of this overland build.